My name is Rama Carl. I am Professor of Digital Media and Animation at Florida Gulf Coast University. Welcome back. In the previous video, we already created an FK rig from a mesh, and here I'll show you how to adjust the weight paints to get more natural skin deformation. This video is somewhat optional depending on how much realism you'd like in your character. Now I'm going to show you the very basics weight painting. The head is the natural one to start with because the head is usually the one that needs the most attention. And that's because the entire cranium moves as a single object. So that means that the head should all move independently of the neck. So we can see right now, if I rotate the head, I get quite a lot of deformation in the neck that really should not be occurring. To fix that, we're going to do weight paints. So what are weight paints? We say that vertices are influenced by bones. Let's go back to object mode. I'm going to select the mesh. And now to start weight painting, I'm going to go to Skin. I'm going to select the box next to Paint Skin Weights. Now I'm going to put this over on the right because I'm going to use it quite a bit. And I want to choose which thing I want to work on. So I'm going to scroll down in the menu here. I'm going to find the head, and I'm going to work on the head. And we can see that this is showing the influence of the head joint on the mesh. Really, it's doing too much. Like these vertices for the shoulder and the collar should not be influenced by the head. Hold down B to bring my brush size smaller. Holding it on the control key, I'm going to paint away the areas that should not be influenced by the head. If you have some trouble painting some areas because they're kind of like inside other parts, you could try switching from the soft brush to the hard brush, and then maybe you'll get that part that you're missing. Okay, so to test this, I click anywhere outside of the mesh to get off the paint weight tool. And now I can select the head and rotate the head and see what happens. We see this is quite a bit more natural. There may be some other ways to adjust this, but this looks a little bit better. You can see that as I move my head up and down, the neck should not move so much, so I could probably still adjust a little bit further. But this stretching of the underneath the jaw is natural, so if that kind of stretching underneath the jaw kind of makes a little bit of sense. Okay, so now I'm ready to move on to the next joint and work on the shoulder or the left arm here. So the joint for this is actually the left arm. The shoulder is inside of here, and this could maybe be moved out further when we did the rigging, but we'd have to go back and re-rig to do that. We're not going to do that. So I'm going to work on the left arm here. This joint is actually called the left arm. Go to Skin, Paint Weights to bring up the panel for the weight painting. And now I'm going to select the left arm, and I can see that the problem is that too much of the body is selected. The left arm joint should only move the left arm and a little bit of the shoulder, but not the rest of the body. So I'm going to make my brush a little larger by using the B key, hold down Control to do negative painting, gradually paint away the body so that just the arm is moving. Okay, so this is what it should look like when you have the proper weight paints for like the left arm. There should be a little bit of a fuzzy area as you move into the shoulder and a little bit of a fuzzy area as you move into the forearm. But the primary thing that should be selected is the arm itself. And you can make sure that the opacity is as bright as it should be on this area. That is, the arm itself is fully affected. Once we've done that, we can test it by clicking anywhere. We click on the left arm joint, and now we select the rotate tool, and we rotate and see that yes, now the arm is moving much more the way that it should be. You can continue to refine the weights as you need, and that is the result that we're looking for. By default, Maya tends to over blend the painting, so we need to just basically go through them and remove the painting on all the areas that should not be affected by that lower leg. So we also want to paint away the feet. The feet should not be directly affected by the leg. See, this looks much more natural. It doesn't affect the whole leg or the whole upper part of the leg when I just move the calf, and you can see the foot moves naturally with it as well. If I look at the other side, which I haven't done yet, you see it's deforming too much of the body. Now the foot should make a bit more sense. That, I think, kind of gives you an idea of how you do weight painting. You want to go through the whole body and make sure that your weight paints are what you want. You can just leave it to the default and you'll get kind of a more bendy, deformable character. So there's a little bit of style that comes in here as well. That is, if you just leave it with very broad blending, you get a much kind of more of a bendy character. If you want something that's more realistic, you have to go in and make sure that each of the joints is really isolated. That's how we do painting skin weights. Our character is essentially rigged at this point. We have everything very cleanly set up with everything named properly. It's called Old Man Rig. Old Man Joints refers to the skeleton hierarchy, and Old Man Geometry refers to the actual mesh. And those two things are children underneath the rig, which is the primary object. The skin has been bound and we did weight painting. This is now a completed what's called an FK rig, which is the basis for doing both IK and motion capture. That's what we'll take a look at next. In the next video, I'll show you how to create an IK rig, which can be used for pose-to-pose style keyframe animation.